Global happenings today. We communicate. We analyze global news.
Yesterday, the People Democratic Party, in their 102nd NEC meeting, made a very sensitive decision, and that was zoning their presidential ticket to the south. Now, this looks very attractive, but even as it looks very attractive, it seems to be a very suspicious move. Don't forget that the likes of Peter Obi and Jonathan have been approached that they should come back to the People Democratic Party. The big question is, would Peter Obi move to PDP with this particular statement, being that there is a plot to microzone it? But then political strategists across Nigeria are warning him that as long as the likes of Wike is still around, who is able to shake the fabrics of Nigeria, that it will be a wrong move for him. But the ball is in his court. Let's listen to these political strategists. He took out time to talk about what this may mean to Atiku Abubakar and to Peter Obi. Do you think they'll fall for it? Let's listen to me and we'll be back to talk more.
Right now, would you advise him to accept this bait, as you put it? Because it's been zoned to the south, and it doesn't look like ADC will work for him at this point.
Let me tell you that all these politicians, including Peter Obi, they have their options A, B, C, D. Atiku resigned from the ADC, from PDP, has not joined the ADC. Because they all know Peter Obi has not formally joined. And some people say, oh, tell us where you stand. I say, this might be his own strategy. I can tell you, if Atiku decides now to join the ADC, don't be surprised that he may lose. Somebody might be propped up and he will lose the nomination, and that means he has been completely neutralized. I wouldn't want to advise Peter Obi. He has his own advisors, and he's not a political fool. In the end, he has to take his own decisions. But if I were him, I'll be extremely suspicious. And just like I have to know that this is a fox, somebody who is, he will not demur in terms of using any kind of strategy to neutralize an opponent. And he's also cunning, which means his moves, one plus one, projected on this political space, I will not want to take it to be true. I will look beyond the figures. So it's up to him to know what his own political strategies are telling him and what this move. But I believe that once any announcement is made, they create scenarios, do scenario mapping. Does this presidency mean this? Are they planning to do this? In the end, like any chess game, you take a position, and sometimes, quite often, it may work. Sometimes it may work. Sometimes it may not work. But we don't know. But in all this, there's also what we call the fog of war, where one variable that you did not anticipate in your own analysis, you did not factor in your own analysis, will come to become a game changer. So what I believe will happen is that in the next couple of months, it will become clearer what informed this decision for the PDP to say they are zoning this thing. And let me also make one position clear. I believe the relay race between the southwest and northwest is not good for our nation building. In the same way, the activists for zoning and power rotation, when they return to their state, they tell you that zoning does not exist. Again, you see the hypocrisy. If you're from Benue State, you can say they will tell you now politics is a game of number. To Abia State, to some of these states. And it is not also going to be a conversation only about the major ethnic groups. The man from a small group should also have should know that he is included. He or she is part of this conversation. And that ultimately, from the logwood, as they say, to the White House, that I have a potential of, irrespective of the size of my ethnic group, to move from here to become something very important at the national level. So for now, we have constricted the conversation to, right now, it is a relay race. And it's not good. As I say, it's condemnable. If you really want to build a nation, you cannot call anybody and say patriotism. Patriotism simply means there is a particular power configuration which you want me to support. And if I'm already not comfortable with the underlying power configuration, on which this political superstructure is built, and you're asking me to come and support you and be patriotic, at that point some would then say, oh, patriotism is the last refuge, of somebody who is, you can say, I don't want to use certain words. But if we really want to build a nation, and I believe unless we get the nation building right, every solution you throw into the myriad of our problems will end up becoming part of the problem.
Now, what's your standpoint on this issue, Peter Obi, being that this is such an attractive, decision for him?
Honestly, Peter Obi should be wary of PDP. PDP is a war without end. It doesn't have any ending. And Peter Obi shouldn't forget that he's actually the person that everyone is looking out for. Everybody, ADC, PDP.
Which means even enemies,
friends and foes.
Okay.
And the best way to attract him is the one that looks so nice and so delicious, so sumptuous like they are presenting. Don't forget that PDP is Wike is PDP. And Wike has said it openly that he is the son of the South and his support is 100% Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, let's just do the equation of mathematics. If Wike says his support is with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, though he's a PDP member, and they're zoning this whole thing to South, probably zoning it to Southeast, and the secretary to PDP is is Wike's boy, Hans man, actually. Anybody who says sign, he signs. Anybody say don't sign, he doesn't sign. And Peter Obi now comes in there simply because it's an attractive place. He's actually dancing into the trap of not just Bola Ahmed Tinubu, not just Wike, but Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because Wike is actually Bola Ahmed Tinubu's stodge, which means it's already a full win. In fact, this election has been won before it even began. So if you ask me personally, PDP is not a party of its own. PDP is being controlled by, is spearheaded by one man,
yes.
Wike. And Wike is under
Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
And
he's supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Fully supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So you now see that PDP by default is actually controlled by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's foolishness for Peter Obi, no matter how attractive it looks, for Peter Obi to go in there, even though it is being microzone. It's even better he finds his way around any other party that is not being controlled by one man.
But do you think that the People Democratic Party will make a decision in future? Because though they did not say anything about,
why are they not making that decision now?
I don't know the reason, but most people believe that the reason why that decision is not being made now is because of the upcoming national convention. That national convention will tell Nigerians who will be the national chairman, who will be the national secretary, and all of that. Which means that possibly the plot can be to hoist out anyone that will support Wike's decision. Now, the question I want to ask is, do you think that if they kick Wike out of the party, taking into consideration that judiciary also, favors, he's a loving boy of the judiciary, do you think if Peter Obi goes there, it will be a fair game for him and he will, ride on possible wins and win?
Okay, let's assume that Peter Obi wants to play safe. If I am Peter Obi, I won't play safe. The only way I will not play safe is I will write off PDP totally. Why? Because in as much as Wike up till now, with all the full anti-party, whenever they go for next meeting, they avoid that topic. Yes. Why are you avoiding? Is Wike that big? And now, if, for any reason, they find themselves having full neck and having been able to kick out secretary, which is Saban Anyanwu, what is the possibility that 2026 ending, Wike will not come out with a court injunction? Don't forget, he's the judicial golden boy, as said by Sowore, which means all these things they are playing, by 2026 ending, Wike can emerge again and turn the whole thing. So, for me, I will not want to play safe. I will just rule it out. There's no PDP in my eyes.
Yeah.
But for someone like Peter Obi likes to play safe, he can just observe.
Yes.
Let us see this katakata you want to play. Say, lie, all this piece I'm saying, yes. Why, you want me to put leg, sing song, I know they enter. You understand? All of this drama, there's peace now. Peter Obi, will you just come? It is you we are attracting. This peace we are doing is because of you. Will you just be foolish enough to find yourself in? Of course, I don't see a billionaire, a businessman like Peter Obi falling for this trap. He has seen such. He just, one of his greatest strengths is that quietness, that looking as if he doesn't know what he's doing, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Watch what he did in ADC. He has not entered ADC. Atiku have resigned from PDP. Atiku enter ADC now. Baba is still holding his card. Peter Obi, I want to see where you are entering. You this wayo man. Where do you want to go? Do you understand? So everybody just notice that Peter Obi is actually the one controlling the political emotions of Nigerian politics right now. So everybody's just watching him. And I like the fact that he's psychologically controlling the terrain, and it's nice.
All right, let's leave it there. What's your position